I'm just a veteran. I'm honorably discharged. I served my country well, and I don't think a veteran should be treated like this.
Now at 5, a local veteran says he's not getting the help he needs after being exposed to deadly chemicals while serving. And the latest efforts to restore a popular fishing pier.
This is Chris 6 News at 5.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Seth Kovar. Katya is out on assignment. There's growing frustration tonight when it comes to registering to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Spots filled up quickly this morning, but as our Iran Hammy reports, lots of people aren't happy.
Several people have told me the registration process to get a COVID-19 vaccine is a nightmare. They want answers and they want to see the process get fixed. People logged on their computers and mobile devices at 10 a.m. to try to register for one of the 1,000 vaccines up for grabs. These people are to be vaccinated Tuesday, but many had a hard time completing the registration process right after the window opened. Some say they got through 3 or 4 pages and then were kicked from the page. Others say the page would never even load for them. Another man says he kept getting different error messages. When city representatives were asked what the problem is, all they said was that just means registration was closed.
The city needs to re-look at the procedure in the computer programs. Somebody has to know what's going on that's allowing these mistakes to happen.
Remember the city's last vaccination registration event? It allowed too many people to register, and now those people will be part of the 3,000 that will be vaccinated on Tuesday. We've reached out to several city officials but have yet to hear back. Reporting in Corpus Christi, Iran Hammy, Chris 6 News.
And as Ron just mentioned, online pre-registration for tomorrow's mega vaccination clinic wrapped up just this morning. In a matter of mere minutes, 3,000 first doses of the COVID-19 vaccine will be distributed Tuesday at the Borchard Fairgrounds in Robstown. 9,000 second dose vaccinations will be given out Wednesday and Thursday at the fairgrounds. Those who are eligible for these second doses are being contacted through text messages. Portland's WindFest has been canceled for the second year in a row now. The Portland Chamber of Commerce says they decided to cancel this year's event because, yes, you guessed it, COVID-19, but more specifically, COVID-19 guidelines from the state. WindFest was canceled for the first time in its 47-year history last year because of the pandemic. Now, it's the Portland area's biggest fundraiser for area nonprofit groups, so it's a big financial loss for them. Well, now to the latest COVID-19 numbers in Nueces County. The health department reports 1 new death today. That raises the number of lives lost to 671. The county also reports 151 new cases. That brings our total to 36,354. Now, we're also keeping track of all the latest coronavirus cases throughout the entire coastal bend. You can keep track of the cases in your area by going to our website. That's christv.com. We have continuing coverage this afternoon on the latest efforts to restore Bob Hall Pier. On Wednesday, Nueces County commissioners are expected to decide if they should ask FEMA for the money to rebuild the pier after already getting denied by the agency once. Our Andrew Christensen joins us now live with more. Andrew. Having trouble getting a hold of Andrew there. We'll move on, though. Now we were talking about rebuilding Bob Hall Pier. Well, what about the parking lot there at Bob Hall Pier? County commissioners expected to vote on rebuilding that, also coming up on Wednesday. That's set to happen Wednesday, as I mentioned. Commissioners selecting a company for that project. They're looking to rebuild the parking lot with concrete instead of the original asphalt. It got torn up during Hurricane Hannah, you may remember. Now, doing it in concrete instead of asphalt, that brings the price to just under $2 million. There's no word just yet on when that parking lot could be completed. Well, it's pretty nice out there, not picture perfect or anything, so let's go to a guy who's hanging out inside his house. Meteorologist Bill Alexander is that man. How's it looking outside tonight, Bill?
Well, it's looking pretty cloudy, Seth, and it's good to hear from you. It's been a while. And I tell you what, very spring-like conditions out there. The mercury hovering in the middle 70s. Take a look at your live camera there, downtown Corpus Christi. A southeast wind howling along at 18 miles an hour. and a temperature at 74 degrees, 76% humidity. But the big deal is not going to be the temperatures. As you can see right now, lots of 70s out there. But the real issue is going to be overnight and early morning fog. We also have a few little sprinkles out there. We're going to be talking about that and how bad the fog's going to be and what to expect later on in the week. And it's going to be a nightmare. In your full forecast, Seth?
Well, thank you, Bill. In tonight's Veterans in Focus, we're meeting a local man who served in Southeast Asia and was exposed, like so many soldiers, to deadly chemicals which have affected his health. But worse for this man, he says he can't get the help he's entitled to. Chris 6 News reporter Greg Chandler has his story.
While Robert Walton didn't fight in Southeast Asia, his unit served a very important mission. And ever since he's come home, Walton has been fighting for his life, and he's gotten very little help from the VA. Walton was stationed in Thailand working on camera systems carried aboard aircraft. He says that's where he was exposed to Agent Orange. Walton started having health problems in 2000. He was diagnosed with ischemic heart disease, a known health issue related to Agent Orange exposure. Walton says his claims were initially denied by the VA because he wasn't in Vietnam.
I have a letter from the Air Force stating that they never use herbicides in Thailand, which everybody knows that's not true. The VA has admitted to it.
Walton says he has nothing but respect for the doctors who have treated him at the VA. It's the administrators who keep denying his claims that he has an issue with. For Veterans in Focus, Greg Chandler, Chris 6 News.
One day before the second impeachment trial for former President Donald Trump begins, his attorneys are forcefully denying that he incited the deadly attack at the U.S. Capitol. They argue it's unconstitutional to try a president after he's left office. Senators will vote first on that very question tomorrow, but the Democratic majority has the votes to move the trial ahead. Starting on Wednesday, each side will have 16 hours to make its case. It would take the votes of 17 Republican senators to convict Trump, and in a past vote, only 5 agreed that process was even constitutional. Valentine's Day is less than a week away. Freak out time, guys. Well, do you know what you're getting your sweetheart? That's the big question. Coming up, a warning about one gift that causes problems at the beach. Circling back now to the latest efforts to restore Bob Hall Pier. That's where our Andrew Christensen is standing by live. Let's try again to connect with him. Andrew.
Well, as you can see behind me, Bob Hall Pier is closed off to the public, but the Nueces County Commissioner's Court tells me they're willing to open it with or without FEMA's financial help. Commissioners will discuss roads, drainage, debris removal, and other infrastructure near the pier. The plans are to rebuild the pier and concession stand, and the observation deck will still stay the same. Nueces County Commissioner Brent Chesney says the county submitted the damage estimates and the estimates to demolish and rebuild the pier. He says sometimes FEMA doesn't approve the full amount requested, but he's hoping the county will receive some money. Chesney says the tax rate should not go up if FEMA denies their request again. He says Bob Hall Pier is a priority.
And we're working on it all the time, and we're going to do it as fast, but we want to make sure it's right, as fast as we possibly can.
Commissioner Chesney says that the reopening of the pier will be discussed on Wednesday. And in Corpus Christi, Andrew Christensen, Chris 6 News. Back to you, Seth.
All right, thank you very much there, Andrew. Here's words that put fear into some guys' hearts. Valentine's Day is less than a week away. You are warned. Now, if you plan on getting your sweetheart balloons to celebrate, you need to hear this next story. Our Patrick Johnstone reports they can cause problems at our local beaches.
When walking along the beach at Padre Island National Seashore, you may find some garbage that was left by other visitors. Not only is it an eyesore, it can also be harmful to the environment and to the wildlife in the area.
Those balloons you get for your significant other for Valentine's Day may have a bigger impact than you might think.
Many marine animals can mistake these items for food, and if consumed, it could cause immediate asphyxiation.
Last Valentine's Day, the Ibarra family made a trip to the park. On their way back, they picked up more than 60 balloons on the beach.
And that's just one family doing a modest cleanup on a 70-mile stretch of beach.
Some visitors say it's a group effort to keep the beaches clean.
Well, I'm very cognizant when I walk the beach about the trash being out there, and I really like the fact that I've seen quite a few people take advantage of the litter bags that are posted, and people are actually picking up trash.
The park also does its part.
Just this past weekend, we hosted the Adopt a Beach cleanup here. We had about 100 volunteers, and we estimate we picked up around 3,000 pounds of trash.
And hope you will do the same to keep their wildlife neighbors safe.
We ask you this Valentine's Day, show how big your heart is, show how much you care about the coastal bend and the beaches that we all love to visit by keeping balloon debris off of them.
You can always assist in helping keep Padre Island National Seashore clean. For information on how to do that, head to our website, christv.com. Reporting from Padre Island National Seashore, Patrick Johnstone, Chris 6 News.
Still ahead on your news at 5, a happy ending for a local family who were desperately searching for their missing four-legged friend. And we're starting off our work week on a pretty good note weather-wise. Bill Alexander will have the forecast coming up right after this. Welcome back. A Corpus Christi family is complete once again. The humans, or humans if you're so inclined, were reunited with their four-legged friend here. This 9-year-old little girl ran away recently. Family did their best to find her, but they kept just running into dead ends. Chris 6 Sunrise anchor Paul Mueller lets us know what happened next.
Finding the family dog, truly a team effort. Not only two Good Samaritans, but Corpus Christi Animal Care Services, and most importantly, a tiny little chip that made this happy reunion happen. What began as another call to save a dog would lead to a startling discovery. Here at Denali Drive and North Oso Parkway on the south side of Corpus Christi. A dog in distress in this canal off a very busy parkway.
So we received a call for a dog in the canal that had been in the canal for a couple of hours swimming, and it was unable to get out of the canal on its own.
That's when Corpus Christi Animal Control Officer Aguilar raced to the scene, found the dog, who they say wanted to be rescued, not fighting back, as Officer Aguilar used the snare pole to rescue her.
Its body temperature was low since it had been in the water for so long.
Then the officer rushed the dog back to Corpus Christi Animal Care Services.
So the officer went ahead and took the dog to our clinic area. They assessed her and they immediately started to wrap her up in blankets.
And the lead vet tech using heat dryers to bring her temperature back to normal. Then they'd realized the reason why the dog wound up in the canal in the first place.
It is an elderly dog that has some hearing issues and some sight issues, so it probably just stumbled into the canal while it was wandering around.
But the best news of all, the dog was microchipped, giving them the info they needed to have a happy reunion, and also find out the dog's name is Jasmine.
It is so important to have that microchip. The microchip allows us to find the owner immediately, just like we did for this dog.
A team effort by the callers, Officer Aguilar, and members of Corpus Christi Animal Care Services. As they told us, it's heartwarming to reunite families.
We are so excited when we're able to find the owner for the animal, and the animal can get the help that it needs.
Jasmine's owners respectfully declined an on-camera interview. Meantime, some advice from Corpus Christi Animal Care Services. If you call about an animal, try and give them the exact location. Also, don't forget to microchip your forever friend. It's not that expensive. Some clinics even offer them for free. I'm Paul Mueller, Chris 6 News.
Now, your Chris 6 weather forecast with meteorologist Bill Alexander.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It did turn out to be a cloudy, warm, and slightly breezy afternoon across all of the coastal bend. And that's what we're seeing right now. Looking across all your WeatherBug cameras there, mostly cloudy skies, but along the immediate coastline, fog is beginning to thicken in the immediate area along the coast, and that will be moving in as the evening progresses. We made it up to 77 degrees officially at Corpus Christi International Airport today after a morning low of 53, and no real big wind gusts out there today. Kind of a steady southeasterly flow, and that has been the predominant feature here, giving moisture in increasing amounts to our area, and that's layered those clouds over us. And because we have temperatures warmer than the sea surface temperature. Now we're starting to see a good amount of sea fog out there. There is a stationary front in North Texas. You can see that on the satellite radar loop, and there's bitterly cold air to the north. For now, it's hanging up there. However, that's going to be changing. Notice the temperatures in the 20s and 30s from the Red River Valley further north, 60s and 70s over most of the state. So it's going to be a huge change as that front finally makes it down here. We're looking at middle to upper 70s over much of the area right now. Humidity really starting to come up, though. 90% at Port A, 84% at the Naval Air Station in Corpus. But look what happens tonight. Dense fog, widespread dense fog moves in and sets up shop in the overnight, early morning hours. Very much a dense fog advisory scenario. You'll probably see that from 9 a.m. to around, or 9 p.m. to around 9 a.m. tomorrow. So prepare for that. That front is not moving much now, but it will start making its way further south as we move into Wednesday night and Thursday, as upper level instability starts to move in, becomes favorable for developing a pattern that is very active towards looking at wintertime. Now, we will be dropping only into the lower to middle 60s tonight and back up close to 80 degrees tomorrow. A beautiful day. Those persistent southeasterly winds are going to be the driving factor for the warmth. But the change is coming, and it's change you better be prepared for. Very cold air is going to be visiting us as this pattern shifts, and a cold front comes through Thursday morning. A lot of shower activity Thursday, but here comes the very cold Arctic air over the weekend, with periods of instability giving us a cold rain, and by Monday morning, a frozen mix. Yes, that's correct. And to go along with it, significant amounts of rain will be falling across the area, the better part of an inch of precipitation before all is said and done on your Monday. So be ready for a very cold, wet weekend coming up. Tonight, just the opposite. Warm, mild, warm tomorrow, and then turning dramatically colder the second half of the week, and especially through the weekend. We will keep you informed. Seth will be back with more news after the break.
On today's edition of The Rebound, a lot of college students are feeling a lot of stress as the pandemic continues. Chris 6 News reporter Jeremiah Marshall shows us how a local college is trying to help them out.
For many college students, it can be a challenge staying on top of your studies all during a global pandemic. Which is why staff here at Team UCC want to remind students how the Campus Counseling Center offers free services. Dr. Teresa Sharp with the University Counseling Center says students' mental health is crucial when it comes to academic success. And if students are feeling stressed, they can reach out for help.
And there's no shame in asking for help. Help is available. And I think sometimes, speaking with a counselor who has expertise in managing stress, kind of coping with depression, and just kind of learning some new tools and strategies can make all the difference.
The university also offers virtual workshops that covers topics like managing anxiety and stress. And coming up on Chris 6 News at 6 o'clock, you'll hear from a couple students on how they are able to stay on top of their studies during this global pandemic. Reporting at Texas A&M University Corpus Christi and for The Rebound of the Coastal Bend, I'm Jeremiah Marshall.
And finally this afternoon, we have an update on a local veteran who made it his mission to feed those in need here in the Coastal Bend. 2 weeks ago, Will Henderson organized a canned food drive with the support from a local food bank. He set up collection sites at several bait shops in the area. Well, we now know how much he was able to collect. Today, he told us people donated almost 800 pounds of food, surely to help a lot of people out. That's all our time for now. Thanks for choosing Chris 6 News at 5, and we'll see you back here for Chris 6 News at 6.